If your home doesn't look expensive, there's a good chance it's not because you're missing something. It's because you haven't removed the right things. Professional interior designers often say something surprising. Elegant homes aren't defined by what they add, they're defined by what they eliminate. And the truth is, some of the things that instantly make a home look cheaper are extremely common. In fact, several of them might be in your home right now. Today, we're revealing 20 things designers recommend removing immediately if you want your home to look more elegant and sophisticated. Some of these are obvious, but others are things people keep for years without realizing how much they affect the space. And one of the biggest decorating mistakes appears near the end of this list because it's something many homes do on purpose. One of the fastest ways to make a room feel cluttered is filling every surface with small decorative items. Tiny figurines, souvenirs, random objects collected over time. When the eye sees too many small items competing for attention, the space feels visually noisy. Luxury interiors follow a different principle: fewer objects but stronger presence. In fact, professional stylists often remove more than half the items from a shelf before styling it, and the result instantly feels calmer. Plastic storage is practical, but when it's visible in living spaces, it immediately lowers the perceived value of the room. Designers often replace plastic containers with woven baskets, linen boxes, or wooden organizers. The function stays the same, but the visual atmosphere becomes warmer. And now we arrive at something that became extremely popular in modern interiors, but designers quietly remove all the time. Open shelves look beautiful in magazines, but in real homes they often become overcrowded. When every inch of a shelf is filled, the eye doesn't know where to rest. Interior stylists rely heavily on negative space. Empty space allows the objects that remain to stand out, and suddenly the shelf looks curated instead of cluttered. And speaking of visual chaos, this next mistake affects entire rooms. When too many colors compete in the same space, the room feels busy. High-end interiors usually work with a controlled palette. Typically, one dominant color, one supporting tone, and one accent. This creates harmony. But there's something even more visually disruptive than color, and most homes have it. TV wires, phone chargers, extension cords, cables instantly create visual noise. Once you start noticing them, they become impossible to ignore. Professional designers almost always hide cables using simple routing solutions. Once the cables disappear, the room instantly feels cleaner. And the next detail might be one of the most underestimated in interior design. Curtains dramatically affect how expensive a room feels. Short curtains that stop above the floor can make a space feel unfinished. High-end interiors usually install curtains higher than the window frame and long enough to touch the floor. That single adjustment can completely transform a room. And now we get to something almost every living room has. This one is interesting because almost every sofa has it. Throw pillows slowly lose shape over time. When they look deflated, the entire sofa suddenly feels older. Interior stylists replace pillow inserts regularly to keep them structured. It's a tiny detail, but once you notice it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. And speaking of things that quietly accumulate, coffee tables often become storage surfaces. Remote controls, magazines, decor pieces. But designers usually style coffee tables with only a few elements, often just 3: a book, a decorative object, and something natural, like flowers. This creates visual balance. And speaking of things that try to imitate nature, artificial plants can work, but only if they look realistic. Cheap plastic plants instantly make a room feel outdated. Designers often say, if it doesn't look real, it's better not to use it. And the same principle applies to something hanging on many walls. Wall art defines the personality of a space, but generic prints or old posters can make a room feel dated. Modern interiors often prefer larger artwork, minimal frames, or textured pieces. Sometimes replacing just one piece can refresh an entire wall, but the next item might surprise you. This one surprises a lot of people. Photos make a home feel personal, but when they appear on every surface, they create visual overload. Designers usually recommend creating a dedicated gallery wall instead. This keeps the emotional value of the photos without overwhelming the space. And the next item happens in one of the most overlooked rooms in the house. Luxury bathrooms feel cohesive. Matching towels, clean colors, soft textures. But worn or mismatched towels instantly reduce that feeling. Replacing them is one of the easiest upgrades in any home. And now we get into something that directly affects how big a room feels. Furniture that is too large for the room instantly makes a space feel cramped. Even expensive pieces can look wrong if the scale is off. Professional designers always prioritize proportion. Sometimes removing one oversized item can change the entire layout. And the next mistake happens right under our feet. Rugs help define areas, but when there are too many small rugs, the room feels fragmented. Designers usually prefer fewer rugs that are slightly larger. This creates visual continuity. And the next item affects one of the most powerful elements in interior design: light. Dark, heavy curtains block natural light, and light is one of the most important elements in luxury interiors. Removing heavy fabrics can instantly make a room feel brighter, but the next item is something people rarely think about. Soap bottles, cleaning sprays, dishwashing liquids. Many everyday products come in bright packaging that disrupts visual calm. Designers often transfer them into neutral dispensers. It's a small detail, but it makes kitchens and bathrooms instantly look more refined. And now we reach one of the biggest decorating mistakes people make. This is something many homes do intentionally because trends feel exciting. But when a room is filled with trendy pieces, it quickly becomes outdated. Professional designers mix timeless furniture with a few modern accents. That balance creates elegance that lasts. And if you think that's surprising, the next one can completely transform how expensive a room feels. Lighting dramatically affects how expensive a room looks. Basic ceiling fixtures can make even beautiful spaces feel ordinary. Designers often call lighting the jewelry of a room. Changing one fixture can transform the entire atmosphere. But before we finish, there are two more things designers almost always remove. The entryway is the first impression of your home. If it's filled with shoes, bags, and random objects, the entire house immediately feels less organized. A calm entrance creates a welcoming atmosphere. And the final item might be the most important of all. Luxury interiors are intentional. Every item either serves a function or adds beauty. If something does neither, designers usually remove it, because elegance often comes from clarity. Sometimes the fastest way to transform a home is not buying anything new. It's simply removing what no longer belongs. When every object has a purpose, the entire space begins to feel calmer, cleaner, and more sophisticated. Now I'm curious, how many of these are still in your home right now? Be honest, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy calm interiors, smart decorating ideas, and inspiration for creating beautiful spaces, subscribe to the channel, because every week we explore simple ways to make your home feel more elegant, comfortable, and intentional.